Hi, this is Adam Thans from Bays Mountain Planetarium in Kingsport, Tennessee. And we're going to be covering an interesting little facet of astronomy, a piece of equipment that we actually recommend as the first piece of equipment to get if you want to get into astronomy, and that is a pair of binoculars. Not a telescope, but binoculars. Many reasons. One, they're common. You probably already have a pair at home, and they're not a lot of money. And so you can get a decent pair of binoculars for not much, $100 or less, even $25, and use them on the night sky to get started, to learn the night sky, find constellations with them, even find some interesting deep sky objects like clusters of stars and nebulae, spotting the planets, viewing the moon and seeing the larger craters and maria and surface structure of the moon with binoculars. And of course, you can use them for birds, nature, sporting events, whatever. So even if you aren't using them for the night sky, you can use them for whatever at any other time as well. Something always good to have around the house. Binoculars, things to look for. Well, first of all, you're going to probably wonder about the first thing you're going to notice. And on here they say it at the end. The packaging will, of course, say it. And it says 8 by 40 for this particular pair. Those two numbers are very important. The first one, the 8, is actually the magnification the binoculars provide. So this will provide a magnified view of 8 times of anything that you're looking at. The 40, the second number, is how wide the main objective is at the end, which is what's gathering the light. So instead of your pupil being, let's say at night, 5 to 7 millimeters wide, you've now got 40 millimeter pupils, and you're going to be able to see really faint objects, things that you could never see with just your eyes. And so those two numbers are very important. You can get 8 by 50s, 10 by 50s, so that's 10 magnification and 50 millimeter binoculars. You can also go smaller. Some birding binoculars are things like 8 by 24. They're very tiny, fit in your pocket, 8 power magnification. And if you have a lot of light for like daytime use, then you don't need as much light gathering, and so that means the aperture is only 24 millimeters wide. So it depends on the purpose, and of course you can go much larger as well. So really, you want something. 8 by 40s are kind of your perfect middle spot. They're excellent boating binoculars. They provide just enough magnification, but not too much, so it doesn't magnify your hand moving around when you hold them. And the 40 millimeters is a good amount of light gathering for you. So these are excellent, good numbers to look for. Some other features. One is a good name brand. If you get something from a company you've never heard of, there's probably a reason why. And so you're going to want a good company name behind it. And nowadays with the internet, get online and look at some reviews and really read the reviews before you actually purchase. And you may have to buy your binoculars online if they're not available locally. The other, some basic things. Don't get the zoom focus. This is a regular kind of focus, the central wheel, that knurled knob that focuses both of these eyepieces. That's your typical kind. That's the kind you want. Of course, one of the optics will be variable, and that allows you to change the diopter setting for the lenses so that they can match your eyes without glasses. If you must use your glasses, make sure that these have an eye relief value that puts the focal plane farther out from this front lens, so that because of your glasses, they're pushing the binoculars away from you a little bit, and that allows you to be able to use your glasses with the binoculars. So things to look out for. Some other things. How wide is the field of view, which is a basic value. Some of them are about 5 degrees. Binoculars that are touted as ultra wide view are actually very nice for night sky, which I would recommend. 8 degrees, 9, 10 degrees field of view of the night sky. That allows you to see an entire constellation at once. Also, the lens coatings. You're going to see multi-coated, which means that only the front surfaces of these two lenses are coated, but none of the interior surfaces are coated. There's a lot of lenses and prisms inside here. Fully multi-coated means every surface is coated. That's much better. If you want to use these for nature and sporting, even like boating, anything on the water, you're going to want binoculars that are probably armored, which means they have a heavy rubber armoring on them for good grip, especially if they're wet. But also you want them waterproof and nitrogen purged. And that means that the optics and everything inside is sealed, and the nitrogen has actually pushed the air out, and nitrogen has the ability of not allowing a fogging to occur inside the optics. Of course, it can't control anything on the outside part, but that means that they're sealed, and if they're waterproof too, that's going to keep any water from going in. And I'll just tell you right now, if you get any water, even a droplet inside this, and then you take it out, and it's cold or a temperature change, you're going to get fogging inside, and it'll never go away, ever, ever, ever. Word of advice on that. So, also the prisms that are inside here. These have, all binoculars have 2 prisms on each side. You want the kind that are called BAK7, which is a different kind of glass that's actually better for the optics for binoculars. And the real benefit is you're using both eyes to view objects, and so you're keeping that stereo vision. Little behind the scenes, your eyes being two optical systems are actually canceling out noise. So if you just use one eye and you're looking at something, your eye may not be so perfect, and there may be some areas that aren't perceiving as well. But both eyes, they cancel out the noise. They combine together. You get double the brightness input, so your brain is interpreting that and seeing a very nice bright image. Now for astronomy, sometimes hand holding them and looking way up, it can be hard. You might have noticed this little thing at the end here. The cap is missing on purpose, and it's exposing this small little hole, which is threaded for a 1/4-20 bolt. That means if you have a binocular mount, what is that? It's an L bracket. You can make one of these yourself. And one side will attach to a tripod, which is also 1/4-20. And so you can have the tripod that has the 1/4-20 screw thread facing upwards. You have your L bracket with a hole, and on the top you have a nut or a wing nut that mates with the 1/4-20 on the tripod. Tighten that down, and then a 1/4-20 nylon thumb screw or a bolt or something that goes through that L bracket and into the binoculars and tightens that down. All of a sudden you can mount this on a tripod that you probably have laying around the house, and now it's super steady and you can see a lot more of the night sky. And as kind of a few final notes here, things you can see, like I said, you can see craters on the moon, clusters of stars pretty easily. You're going to see full constellations, so you can learn the night sky better. The moon, the craters on the moon, as I mentioned. I have seen when this is mounted on a tripod and it's super steady and you know exactly where to look, both Uranus and Neptune I have seen with these binoculars. No, you will not see the surface of any planet with these. No, no, no. But I was able to spot them as microscopic little dots. They look like stars, but I was able to perceive their faintness. That was the key, and it was kind of a personal challenge. Could I find them? And yes, it was hard, but I was able to. So that kind of gives you an idea about what you can do with these. Saturn's rings, no. You will not. They will not magnify enough to see the rings of Saturn, but you will see that Saturn has kind of an oval shape to it. So that is nice. And one thing never to look at, the sun. Don't do it. Now you have big eyes and you're gathering a lot of light, and the last thing you want to do is to really destroy your eyes. Don't do it. So be careful. Pair of binoculars, great for the family, and let's say you have a young one that wants to get into astronomy, an inexpensive pair for 25 bucks. Gets that person started. Basic star charts, which now you can find online. You can just download and print, and learn the night sky without a big investment, and you always have a pair of binoculars. So get out there, enjoy nature, not only natural on the earth, but also the natural studies of the night sky too. Thank you.